Hello, everyone. Pierce Roberson here for Sports Minded. If you like my scenery, thank you. It's All-Star Weekend. The All-Star Game is tonight, American League, National League. The first half, well, technically the first half of the season has been passed, but this is the unofficial end of the first half of the regular season in Major League Baseball. It's been an eventful year so far, shockingly. I mean, compared to the last couple years, shockingly, only two no-hitters so far this year. We got the perfect game from Homer Bailey just a couple weeks back, and then Saturday, Tim Lincecum getting off the schneid and getting a no-hitter. But it's been a very eventful, very weird, but fun season to watch. Just going down the division. Let's start in the American League. The Boston Red Sox have been one of the biggest surprises in baseball. They have the best record in the American League, 58 and 39. This third best record in terms of percentage in the majors. And this is a team I predicted to finish last. New manager John Farrell, the former pitching coach of the Red Sox, went to coach Toronto for a few years and then came back over to Boston. He's really made a difference with this team that was down and out last place team last year with Bobby Valentine. We can see that clearly that didn't work, but they're really clicking on all cylinders. Like I said, they're the best record in the American League right now. They're playing phenomenally and showing in their record. Tampa Bay has really come on strong, catching fire. They won 9 out of 10 going into the break, and they sit just 2.5 games out of first place Boston, leading the wild card race as well. Baltimore is still pretty good, 4.5. Toronto, although they got to 500 and they're pretty close to 500, they're 4 games back of 500 right now, 4 games under. They still have a chance, and then it's always the Yankee complex. No matter what, no matter the injuries, with all the injuries that they've had, the Yankees are still 51 and 44. They're 6 games out of Boston. They still have a chance at a wild card spot. But I mean, Teixeira's done for the rest of the year. Jeter, he played 1 game and he's back to being injured. We don't know about A-Rod, and that's just another circle in itself. But I believe the Yankees, they do have a definitive chance of making the playoffs, making a push toward the playoffs. They're the Yankees. You know, CC Sabathia, they have a really good pitching staff. Mariano Rivera's been lights out in his final season. They have a chance at making the playoffs. In the Central Division, you want to focus on two teams in particular. The top two teams, Detroit and Cleveland. Cleveland just a game and a half back of the defending American League champions. Cleveland won 4 in a row. They've been a big shock. Justin Masterson, Michael Bourne's signed on before the start of the season. He's come on pretty strong. But Detroit's Detroit, and I think Detroit's still going to win this division again. I believe that despite the record, they are the second best team behind the St. Louis Cardinals in the entire major leagues. Scherzer's been phenomenal, 12 and 1. Verlander hasn't had a Verlander season, but he's still Justin Verlander. You still have to have that trust in him as one of the top 3 pitchers in baseball. And of course, Miguel Cabrera is on pace to he's just ripping through. And unless I think he can be able to catch Chris Davis, who of Baltimore, who's the major league leader in home runs. I think Miguel Cabrera can catch him and hold on to his RBI and average lead and win the Triple Crown again. That's how great of a player he is. It's a phenomenal player he is. Kansas City and Minnesota, not much to talk about there. But the White Sox, a team that I predicted that was going to finish in second. You know, I didn't feel like it was going to be close to Detroit, but I figured the White Sox would be a lot better than they are now, and they're just dreadful. You look across on the other side of town and with the Cubs, who actually have a clear direction where they're going to go, and the White Sox right now, they don't look like a playoff team, and they don't look like they're ready to start a rebuild. They need to start a rebuilding phase, but they should have shown no sides of it. They need to start moving pieces. When Jesse Crane is healthy, move Crane. I would say move Peavy once he gets healthy if you can. Move Alex Rios, who I think is going to be the main guy that they move. If I'm the White Sox, I'm looking to trade every guy except for Josh Phegley and Chris Sale, who's your starting catcher and your ace pitcher. Out of the West, the Oakland A's have the best record in baseball since last August. And you would not know that because they're so under the radar. Playing in Oakland, not really playing to sell out crowds all the time. That's usually a thing when it comes to Oco Stadium. But the Oakland A's have been one of the best teams in baseball. They're the second best record in the American League. They've won 7 out of 10. They've just been really strong all year. Great pitching, great relief pitching, a strong core. Being able to hold off the Texas Rangers, who are 2 games back, and I think they can make some noise once again. They really came on strong at the end of last year, and they've continued it into this season. The Rangers, like I said, they're 2 games back, and I think everybody when the season started, we automatically, even though the A's won the division last year, we typecasted them off and said it was either going to be the Angels or the Rangers. And the Angels, 11 games back, 500. That the Pujols deal is looking horrible now and great for the Cardinals, seeing like they're the best team in baseball. And Texas, Texas is struggling. Well, not really struggling. They're 54-41. They're still a potential wild card team as they were last year, but this is a team that should be running away with a lot of things, and they're currently sitting in second behind the Oakland A's. In the National League, in the East, the Braves definitely like the best team in the American League East. A great core when you think of Freddie Freeman and that outfield of Upton, and Hayward has been phenomenal. Dan Uggla has been great. And a pretty good pitching staff as well. You got the best closer possibly other than Mariano Rivera in baseball, and Craig Kimbrell, excuse me. You got a great pitching staff, and they're looking like they're one of the best teams in the league. While Washington, the division leaders last year, a lot of people picked Washington to be a World Series favorite. They're only a game over 500. When you got Bryce Harper and Steven Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, didn't really think this team would be teetering over 500 when they had the best record in baseball last year, but they are. Phillies at even 500. The Marlins are, of course, the Marlins, and the Mets are looking like they need to start that rebuilding phase as well. But hey, at least they have the All-Star game tonight in Citi Field in Queens. Matt Harvey has, Matt Harvey has become the face of Mets baseball. I would say in a couple years, Matt Harvey will, because I'm not sure if I think David Wright's definitely the face of Met baseball. He is the face of Met baseball for the past 10 years, the biggest face. But soon enough, Matt Harvey is going to become that man for the New York Mets. Whether David Wright gets traded or he stays on, Matt Harvey is going to become that guy. In the Central, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals are the best team in baseball. And as a Cubs fan, it pains for me to say that. Anytime the White Sox or the Cardinals prosper, I hate saying it, but the Cardinals are the best team in baseball. You saw what they did last year. They let Pujols leave to go to the Angels. They said, you know what, screw it. We're gonna bring up Alan Craig. Alan Craig's gonna play first base. He can play first, third, any of the corner outfield spots. We're gonna bring up Matt Carpenter, who can play anywhere in the infield. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have David Freese stay at third. We got Rafael Furcal. We have Matt Holliday. We can let Lance Berkman go. We got John Jay and Carlos Beltran. Pitching wise, Chris Carpenter gets hurt. Okay, let's bring up Shelby Miller. We got Jaime Garcia. We got Wayne Wright. We got Lance Lynn. Anybody gets hurt, Jake Westbrook can come back from the dead and pitch a great game. Or Michael Wacha. Or they just have so many. Their farm system's so deep that continuously lets them be great. They continue producing great ball players. As Cubs fans, I hate to say it, but they're the best team in baseball. And Yadier Molina is a potential National League MVP. Pittsburgh has shocked the entire world, the second best record in baseball. The last 2 years, they've shown that glimpse of being great, and then towards the end, once that halfway mark hits, they start to teeter off, and once again, they finish under 500. They have not finished over 500 in 20 years. 1992 was the last time when they won the division and they went to the NLCS. But I think they definitely will have a winning record this year. I think they will win one of the 2 wild card spots, and I think they'll go on to play Cincinnati, who Cincinnati right now is heavily ahead of anybody else when it comes to the final wild card spot. And it's not like they're a bad team or anything. They're just not as good as Pittsburgh or St. Louis. Milwaukee right now is the worst team in the Central, and deservedly so. Second worst team in the National League. And then you got the Cubs. And I talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, and also talked about this in a post I made after Cubs Sox last Monday, that for a team that's rebuilding, and a team that was, going into the season with the intent that this was not going to be a playoff team, this was going to be a 90 loss, 100 loss ball club. They've been playing very well. If it wasn't for the struggles of relief pitching, they could be a 500 ball club. I think now's the time you're going to see a lot of guys get shipped off. Matt Garza's come back and played phenomenally. I can't see him lasting more than one start left with the Cubs. I think they need to get him shipped off, get prospects ready. The same for Alfonso Soriano, who's turned on the Jets. Kevin Gregg has blown a couple saves lately, and I think his value is starting to lower down. But the Cubs are doing a good job at keeping prospects in the minors, building them up. When they're ready, and they'll bring them up. And then the West, that's the most shocking division. Let's just start with the defending champion Giants, who are 43-51. Not 6.5 games back in the division, and it's a huge shock. They've been heavily underachieving. When you think defending champions, it's really odd to think of a defending champion that the next season they don't have a winning record, and this is still a winnable division for the Giants, as it is for the Dodgers. And the Dodgers started off horribly, massively horribly, and then a man named Yasiel Puig came up, and automatically the Dodgers catch fire. They have hope, and they're at even 500, and they're 2.5 games back. And I thought the Dodgers were I didn't have much faith in the Dodgers at all, because I don't think, unless you're the Yankees, there's no way that you can buy a championship. And that early in the season, that proved to be right. And then Yasiel Puig came up. Granted, he was a buy. He's a Cuban import, so they had to pay money, lots of money for him to sign with the organization as well. But Yasiel Puig is changing all that. He's changed the culture of Dodger baseball from the way it was at the beginning of the year. And they're only 2.5 games back at Arizona, who's been another surprise. Paul Goldschmidt's proven he's one of the best first basemen in the game. And they got great pitchers in Brandon McCarthy. Patrick Corbin's pitching pretty awesomely. The Diamondbacks are a very good team. I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to withstand the rest of that division, especially with the Dodgers. The Rockies are 4.5 games back, but I can't really see them making that big of a push. But hey, anything's possible. They won 22 straight en route to the World Series back in 2007. And then the Padres, not really much to say there. They just got no hit by the Giants, and they're the worst team in the NL West. So if I had to pick have a prediction for who's going to win the division here at the end of the season, here at the halfway point of the year, I would say in the NL, definitely the Atlanta Braves will take these. I think they're going to run away with that. I think the Cardinals are the best team in baseball, and they will win the NL Central. And I think the Dodgers are gonna come back up. They're only 2.5 games out. I think they're gonna make a strong push behind Puig, behind Greinke, Kershaw, and they're gonna win the West. Especially if they can get Matt Kemp healthy. Look out for the Dodgers. And then, as I said earlier, for the 2 wildcard spots, I think Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are going to take that and run away with it, unless we could see a strong surge from another NL West team or possibly the Nationals. In the American League, it's tight, it's tough. You can see the Yankees come back up. You can see Baltimore, but I'm going to keep Boston at that top spot in the NL East. I'm going to keep Detroit with the Central and Oakland in the West. And I think the 2 wild cards, I think Texas will falter off. And I think the same with Tampa Bay. This has been a strong push for Tampa Bay. But I think if the Yankees can surge and get strong and come back, and also Baltimore, I think the Yankees and Baltimore will be the 2 wildcard teams out of the American League. But that's it for me, you guys. Follow me on Twitter at ChicagoMadeSean. And stay tuned throughout the rest of the second half of this MLB season for Pierce Roberson. Sorry, yeah, I need to get used to this. It's been a couple months since I've had to do on-camera work, so I get lost with the sign-offs. For Sports Minded, I'm Pierce Roberson.